What's going on, guys? Today we are going to be talking about the third mental stat in our Gish spell sword video series. That being our charisma based Gish. I would honestly argue the most popular of Gishdoms. Um, but yeah, a lot of people know the charisma based Gish very well because of the Hexblade Warlock, and it just being simply so incredibly dummy thick good. But yeah, I've got 5 character builds for you guys today. Thanks so much for all the love on the recent videos. It's been super cool to see. But let's actually let's jump into it. I try to be pretty creative with these builds. Some of them though are pretty standard, but I think that's also okay to have because sometimes, it's the best is the best for a reason. All right, let's jump into it. Let's go. It's okay though. It's good. It's good. Uh, we've got the Thrycreen. If you don't like this race or your DM's like, no bug people in my world, just ask them if you could reflavor them to be just like a 4-armed humanoid. I'm sure that would work. There are other ways you could reflavor it too, like maybe like a 4-armed bugbear, something like that, something along those long lines. But we're a monstrosity, but the main reason that I actually chose the Thrycreen is because these are great. Thrycreen make great gishes because of their secondary arms. So you have two slightly smaller secondary arms below your primary pair of arms. The secondary arms can manipulate an object or open or close a door or container, or set down a tiny object or wield a weapon that has the light property. Therefore, we don't have to pay the Warcaster tax, because I would say that manipulating an object means we can use material components, and we can move our arms, meaning we can use somatic. So no Warcaster tax. Woo! Woo! Let's go! Fuck Warcaster! Just kidding. I mean, it's a great feat, but like, why? I just want to be a Gish, and I don't want Warcaster. Go away. Anyway. First up, we've got a build that is actually, it's a lot of Warlock. This build is probably going to be our most Warlocky feeling build, because most of the builds just have Warlock dips in them, but we've got a full 5 levels for Warlock starting off. So of course, the only way that I could find really to be able to use your charisma modifier for attacks is, of course, the most well-known Hexblade Warlock. So unfortunately, most of these builds are gonna have at least a dip in Hexblade Warlock. I said most, hint hint. So Otherworldly Patron, we are choosing the Hexblade. And then, of course, for our Pact boon, so for this Warlock specifically, we are going Pact of the Blade, because when we get to 5th level, Pact of the Blade, we can use an invocation, and we get Thirsting Blade, which means we can attack twice, so then we get extra attack this way. So that's how we're going to do that, and we get up to 3rd level spells with our Warlock spell slots, which is great. And so after our 5 levels, we're just going to take 2 levels in Paladin really quick. I take that back. After our first 5 levels in Warlock, we're going to take 1 level in Sorcerer, and we're just going to go Aberrant Mind Sorcerer, because that's going to get us some more spell slots that we can use, as well as more cantrips. And we also get, our great 1st level features that we get with Aberrant Mind as well. But after our 1st level in Aberrant Mind, then we are going to take 2 levels in Sorcerer. Sorry, 2 levels in Paladin. And we're taking 2 levels in Paladin, of course. Well, we get a fighting style, which is really nice. But we do get Divine Smite, which is the most important thing for us, because that is smite damage. And since we already have the 1 level in Sorcerer, we do have, like, at least a decent amount of 1st level slots that we can use for those smites, since we only have our 2 3rd level Warlock spells. currently. But after that, we're just going to take 4 more levels in Aberrant Mind Sorcerer, which means we are getting all the way to our 3rd level Aberrant or Sorcerer spell slots, which is great. So we are actually going to have a shit ton of 3rd level spells, which is really nice. Because 3rd level spells, they do the chonky. They do the chonky, like that is just, 3rd level spells are probably one of my favorite levels of spells, if not my favorite. I love 3rd level spells, but we're gonna have more. And like, that's also gonna help us because, you know, maybe our full caster friends at this point will have like 5th level spells, but we'll have like 4 or 5 3rd level like spell slots because of our pact spells and our sorcerer spell slots. So like, we're still gonna be able to like hang out with the big boys even if we're not casting 5th level spells, because we have a lot of 3rd level spell slots that we can use, and 3rd level still is a really great power level. That's pretty much that build. It's pretty simple. For your spells, of course, I'd recommend, you know, you want to take your Eldritch Blast, your Booming Blade, your Green Flame Blade, and then basically any other cantrips you like. I would make sure you have at least 1 ranged cantrip, which would probably be Eldritch Blast, or Chill Touch is also another really great one. And for a lot of these Gishes, I would say Compelled Duel is a great spell. Yeah, Silvery Barbs, I mean, all the normal really good spells. So yeah, let's actually move on to our next build. Hey! This build, I'm really excited. This is, I think this one's super fun. So I love the Shadowfell, and I also love the Raven Queen, and I love Shatterkai based. So I went with Shatterkai here because they get the awesome ability of Blessing of the Raven Queen, and it's gonna help make us even tankier because we get resistance to all damage after we teleport, which means we can be just like bouncing around the battlefield, which is super cool. So, also, you look at this and you're like, what? And I'm like, I know. It's okay though. So, personally, how I would do this, I would start 1 level of Sorcerer, or I would start off with 1 level of Hexblade Warlock. I went with Shadow Magic here because we get a whole bunch of things, including we get Strength of the Greys and Eyes of the Dark, which are amazing. Plus we get more spell slots right off the bat. But after you take the 1 level in Sorcerer, I would either go grab that 1 level in Warlock or go right into Paladin. I think it honestly depends on how high your dexterity or strength is, whichever one you would have been attacking with. Like if your stats aren't great and you have a lower dex and a lower strength, then I would just take the 1 level in Warlock. But otherwise, I would go Paladin and go just 6 levels of Paladin all the way. So now we aren't gonna get our extra attack until 7th level, but we do have things like smites to kind of augment that damage. So in reality, it's not a huge deal unless, like I said, maybe you want to do the Warlock first and then the Paladin and Sorcerer after. This is kind of how you want to do it, but I really like this build. I think it's fun. And we're going to go all the way to 6th level with Paladin, so that way we can get our Aura of Protection. And we also are going to get, I believe, yeah, we also get our 2nd level spells. And then for these, after we take 6 levels in Paladin, so we're going to be at 8th level at this point, we're going to go actually and take kind of a surprise, a little twist here. We're going to take Rogue, and we're going to take 4 levels in Rogue, and you're like, what? Ash, why? Well, 1, because we get sneak attack and more damage, but 2, because of the subclass, which is actually, we're going to take Swashbuckler here, which is really cool because Swashbuckler is one of the few rogue subclasses that actually, really, instead of your intelligence being important, it makes your charisma important, which I think is really cool. And since we're a charisma caster, it works for us. So also basically during our turn, if we make a melee attack against a creature, the creature can't make opportunity attacks against us for the rest of the turn, which is really great. It's this is honestly it's like a phenomenal ability, so you can just like ooh ha 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 dip in and out all the time. Um, and we also get a different way to use our sneak attack. So basically, if we're one-on-one with someone, we can just sneak attack them, which is also really good. And then yeah, I don't know. I like this feature a lot. This subclass a lot. I mean, not the feature, but I think it fits. Because rogue works very well with being sneaky, even if you are a charismatic rogue. But I think this is the sneakiest, most dastardly charismatic bitch you'll ever see. And that's kind of how I envision this character is they're super charismatic on the outside, but inside they're very cunning and sneaky. So I think the rogue works really well. I think it's flavored kind of cool. That's why we've got the shadow magic and then Oath of Vengeance as well. I don't know. And it's dark, but they're also happy. It's like when you have the like emo goth character or like the lone wolf at the table, but this lone wolf, they're the life of the party. Think about a lone wolf that's the life of the party. Like isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Do you guys like that? I like that. Anyway, basically most of our abilities for this character are actually going to be the same, except unfortunately we needed a 13 strength and a 13 dex, so for point buy, I just put a 15 charisma and then a 14 con and a 13 in dex and a 13 in strength, but I used the +1 to boost my dex and then of course just boosted charisma all the way up. Unfortunately intelligence and wisdom were kind of dumpies here, but you can't have it good all the time. Okay? All right, guys, next off, we're going to be starting off with custom lineage. And we're just going to take a feat that boosts our charisma. It doesn't matter really which half feat. I like telekinetic here because we get mage hand and it's one of my favorite feats. But yeah, we just want a charisma boosting feat so we can get our charisma to +3 right off the bat. Because that is going to help us get us here faster. And basically our charisma, we want to boost it to 20 as fast as possible, so that's why, because we'll already be at an 18. And then con, I also just put that at 15, and then the rest of these guys, dex 10, intelligence 10, and then I had a strength at 13 because paladin multiclass, which you'll see in 1 second. So first off, we are going to take 1 level in Hexblade Warlock just to get the standard Hexblade stuff. Yeah, pretty much nothing crazy. So we can be attacking with our charisma modifier. And then, like I said, here's some spells I would really recommend here. Eldritch Blast, Green Flame Blade. I like Green Flame Blade over Booming Blade more, but, that depends on you and your preferences. Yeah, they both do very similar things. And then Armor of Agathis, I love. And then Wrathful Smite, Pog. But also, as a Hexblade Warlock, I believe you get access to shield, so also shield would be a big one I recommend, because you don't get that as a paladin, which we're going to be going into next, and we are actually going to go 3 levels, in paladin, and we're going to get our Sacred Oath. I went Oath of the Open Sea here because I thought it was cool and different, and I like Oath of the Open Sea. And you get a cool channel divinity in Marine Lair and Fury of the Tides, which are both fun. But yeah, we're just gonna go until we get our aura and we get extra attack at 5th level, which will be a 6th level character level for us, which is really great. And, it's pretty simple. A lot of these builds are honestly very similar. Except after we go to 6 levels in Paladin, we're gonna go 5 levels in Sorcerer because we want to boost our spell slots for more smite damage, which is a lot of the main reason for these, I'm doing a lot of multi-classing after we get extra attack with our Pally builds, because the more spell slots we have, the more damage we can do, and I like big damage. So yeah, but I went with Lunar Sorcerer. I also thought it fit with Oath of this Open Sea. I would have chose Storm Sorcerer, but I think Storm Sorcerer honestly sucks. So that's why I went with Lunar instead of Storm. But if you like Storm Sorcery, then do that. because I think it fits better, just a little bit better. But we get a bunch of stuff from being a sorcerer, but we're also gonna get all the way up to 3rd level spells already. And even being at 6th level, the paladin only gets 2nd level spells, so we're gonna boost our spell casting a lot, and that means we're just boosting our damage. So we love to see it. Yeah, this build is pretty simple. I don't know. Charisma Gishes are definitely the most popular and most busted. I think maybe other than the Artifice like Blade singer combination, like these are just busted, okay? All right, we know how good they are. I've like been putting this video off because I've just been like, ah, yes, the Charisma Gish. Oh, how unoriginal. Except, what if it wasn't? What if it was original? What if it was different? What if it was a warlock, but it wasn't a hexblade? What? And you're going, Ash, what do you mean? How can you attack with your charisma modifier and not be a hexblade and be a charisma caster? And I would say to you, hold tight. Do not fret. I'm going to show you right fucking now. So first off, we're going to be starting and we're going to be taking 3 levels of Genie of Warlock. And then at 3rd level, actually at 1st level, we are going to be choosing our patron, which I went with the Genie. You can actually choose any patron. I like the Genie because it's cool. And I don't want to be a Hexblade. I want to be different. And the Genie gets this all, like, after I made this build, I was like, wait, I really want to play a Genie Warlock. This seems awesome. Because you get Genie's Vessel. So your patron grants you a magical vessel, that grants you a measure of the Genie's power. It's a tiny object, and you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your Warlock spells, and you decide what the object is, or you can determine it randomly by rolling on the Genie's Vessel table. It's just so cool. You can basically, like, you have your own Genie bottle, which is so awesome. I love it. But for our Pact boon, we're gonna go Pact of the Tome. And you'd be like, what? But that's because you can choose 2 cantrips from any spell list, which means you can choose Shillelagh, which means you don't have to use your wisdom to attack with Shillelagh. You can use your charisma because it just says whatever your like main casting stat is basically. So you can attack with charisma with Shillelagh as a warlock. That's not a dumb ass hexblade. Isn't that neat? Can you guys tell I'm salty? This video made me so salty. Anyway, we're gonna be using Shillelagh here, and that's basically we're gonna be attacking with Shillelagh. Bonus action, Shillelagh with our quarterstaff. Pop, pop, hit things. Winning. We're winning at life. And we're only going to be taking 3 levels in Warlock, but we do also get our invocations. I just would recommend Book of Ancient Secrets and then Agonizing Blast, if I'm being frank. And then we are going to multi-class once more. And we are going to multi-class into the Bard. The Bard. The Bard. And we're going to take the rest of our levels, all of them, all 9 levels. I know, it's weird for me to go 9 levels in a whole class. That's crazy. What? 9 levels in a bard. So we get a bunch of stuff. Bards are great. We get Jack of all trades, Song of Rest, expertise. But at 3rd level, we get our bard college. We get the college of the bard, and we're going to go with the college of swords. Okay, it's the there's 2 options here, basically College of Valor or College of Swords. For this one, I went with College of Swords. I do like College of Swords a bit better than College of Valor, but both eat into your bardic inspirations quite a lot, unfortunately. But yeah, we also get expertise at 3rd level, bonus proficiencies, which is great. We get our medium armor and scimitar proficiency, but we're going to be using a quarterstaff, so we don't really need this. But yeah, that's cool. And we also get to use it as a spellcasting focus. We also get a fighting style. We can only choose from dueling or 2-weapon fighting, but I went with dueling because it's going to work better for us, so we don't have to pay the dumbass warcaster tax. Fuck you. We also get Blade Flourish, which basically these are all of our cool options we can use. And while we're already at 5th level, unfortunately, so this character may fall a little bit short overall, like as level progression hits, but I still think it's cool because you are still mainly a spellcaster, so you do have a lot of versatility still. And it's better than being a fucking Hexblade. So we also have Bardic Versatility, which is, we don't need it. Wrong button, Ash. And I just want to bump our charisma score as fast as possible, get it to that 20, big fat 20. And we're going to get our counter charm, which sucks, but also it's 6th level, which unfortunately won't be until 9th level for us. Hey, you win some, you lose some. If you guys have another way to get Shillelagh faster for your charisma modifier, other than 3 levels in Warlock to get Pact of the Tome Shillelagh, let me know. I would love some more ideas to be a Shillelagh-based charisma attacker, so you can tell Hexblade Warlocks to go fuck themselves. No offense if you're a Hexblade Warlock player. I love Hexblade Warlocks, but I don't know. I've just done so many Hexblade Warlock builds in my life, and I'm just like, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Anyway, we get extra attack, which is great. And then at 8th level, we're also going to get another feat or ability score improvement, which is awesome. And then there's lots of great spells that you can choose as well. For the Genie Warlock spells, since we're going all the way to 3rd level, I would also pick up Shadow Blade because that's a great pickup for Gishes. Yeah, because you're going to get your Eldritch Blast, your Green Flame Blade, which, you know, the basics. And then, you know, Armor Vagathus, but also Hex is great. Sanctuary is also amazing. But then, yeah, Shadow Blade would be the number one that I'd be like, yes, you have to make sure that you have this one. So, yeah, I like this build a lot. It's a little different, but it's really nice. And I like that it's not Hexblade. But also for our race, I did forget to talk about our race again. We are going Gish Zerai because Gish Zerai, their psionics are so great. They get Mage Hand, but they also get Shield, which is phenomenal because we're not going Sorcerer or Hexblade Warlock. We're not going to have an easy way to get access to Shield except if we go Gish Zerai, which makes it super cool. And we also get Detect Thoughts, which is really neat as well. Yeah, and I think it's you can make it very flavorful. I like Gish Zerai. They're one of my favorite races, if I'm being honest. They're also great for Pact of the... Wow, what am I saying? I'm sorry. They're also great for Totem Warrior Barbarians because they have resistance to psychic damage. So anyway, that was a whole... my brain. Wow. But yeah, again, Charisma, you want to get it to 20, but I also have Dex at 14 and Con at 14, because those +2s are great, and then that means we can just get our Intelligence and Wisdom to 10, so we're not hurting as bad for stats in this build, which is phenomenal. Yeah, overall it's pretty simple. But for background, I would also recommend, I almost always recommend the Strixhaven or the, what are they? The space backgrounds, because those are just the best backgrounds because they give you more than just little quirks. They actually give you cool abilities and spells and feats, and they're way better, okay? But if you can't take them, then it doesn't really matter and go whatever background you want. So yeah, let's move on to our last build for the day. It's another Hexblade build, but this is probably the Hexblade build I like the most because usually when I'm building Hexblades, I go Sorcerer, but this time I said no, and we're gonna go Bard. So yeah, let's get into this, because this one, it's yeah. So we're gonna start off 1 level in Hexblade Warlock, just 1, not 2, just 1. So we can get our Pact and get the Charisma. We can attack with our Charisma, Pogalicious. And then we are going to go actually right into Bard, and we are just going to take 6 levels of Bard straight off the bat because we really want to get to extra attack as fast as we can. So yeah, but at 3rd level, when we choose our subclass, we are going to be able to, instead of College of Swords, we're going to go College of Valor, just to give you guys an example, you know, of what it might look like. Because College of Valor, whereas, like, we can do cooler things with our blade with College of Swords, College of Valor gives us combat inspiration, so we can add our Bardic to our weapon damage rolls. And alternatively, when an attack is made against a creature, it can use its reaction to roll Bardic Inspiration die and add it to its AC instead, which is actually really cool, and I do like that. And we also get medium armor, but College of Valor also gets shields, so we get shields and martial weapons, which we do get with Hexblade, so it's not a huge thing, but yeah, still nice. And then we're gonna get our ability score improvement, you know, Fey Touched, Based Feat, just add another feat, just take one that boosts your charisma, to be honest. We're gonna get Font of Inspiration, we're gonna get Counter Charm, we're gonna get extra attack at 6th level, and then that's where we're gonna stop taking Bard levels for the moment, because after that, we're gonna go into Paladin, and we're gonna take 2 levels in Paladin so that we can get Smite, so we can just be smiting bitches, which is really great. So yeah, because that's gonna help augment our damage a lot and help us keep up with like other pure martial characters as well as casters, since we are mostly a full caster. So yeah, it's pretty good. And then so this is your choice. You can either take 3 or 2 more levels in College of Valor, or just take 1 more level in Hexblade. Personally, you don't need the 2nd level in Hexblade, so you might instead really want to get your 5th level spells. So instead, I wouldn't take this extra level and just go to 9th level in College of Valor, so you can get 5th level spells. But I don't know, I kind of went here because I really liked just having the consistency of Eldritch Blast, so we can get our invocations, you know. So I don't know, I think like Agonizing Blast is just really good. Is it better than 5th level spells? Probably not, but I like it a lot. And we also got Mask of Many Faces, which is really cool, really fun, flavorful one. I would just pick your favorite for that. But yeah, and then we're gonna go up to 8th level in College of Valor no matter what. So then we're gonna get another ability score improvement, get that charisma all the way up to 20 boys. So yeah, and then for our race, I just went Shifter because I like Shifter and it's cool. And also, if we do Beast Tide, we get hit points 2 times our proficiency bonus plus 1d6 temp HP, and then we also get a +1 to our AC. So I think Beast Tide's really good for us. It's very cool, but yeah, I don't know, I liked it. It was different than some of the other races we've used, which is nice. We also get an extra proficiency and dark vision. So we basically get all the things we need from a race, plus we get the AC bonus, and it makes us flavorful if we want to be more beast-like, you know? I don't know. It's neat. It's cool. But yeah, that actually wraps it up for today's video. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed these builds. I hope you understand why I'm tired of Hexblade. But I hope you all have an amazing and wonderful rest of your day, and it's filled with smiles. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but definitely hit that subscribe button. All right, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-nie!